AFR Talk.
You're listening to Focal Point with Brian Fisher.
Focal Point with Brian Fisher.
Welcome back to Focal Point. I am Dr. Gina Loudon, filling in today for Brian, who's doing well, texting us already after his minor surgery today. Sense of humor, fully intact. I knew you would want to know that. No more screws loose. So that's a good thing. We will be happy to welcome him back to the show tomorrow. I myself am a loyal listener of his and am happy to be here with you today. I want to sort of put a bow on this. We're talking about Sergeant Tamarisi. We're talking about the shootings in Santa Barbara. We're talking about gun control and mental health. All of these issues very, very topical at the moment in national news. Sergeant Tamarisi, of course, you can go sign the petition. You already are doing that, and thank you. That is at drginashow.com. We have that petition there for you to sign for the White House. His mother made her impassioned, emotional plea for you to sign that petition. They need 25,000 more signatures over the next 2 days. Tell all your friends and family. Don't let up. Put it out on your social media. God bless the mamas. I feel so bad for that caller, that sweet caller that called in and wanted to talk and just sort of broke up, as Jeff put it, when she got on air. She wants to call back in. I want her to know. We'll put her at the top of the call line. But we are going to continue with your calls. You can call 888-589-8840, and the lines are filling up right away. And thank you for that, and I'm going to get right to you. But I do want to kind of put a little bit of a bow on this situation. While we're talking about gun control, I don't want you to forget for a moment that a lot of what's happening in Mexico and a lot of the unrest and a lot of the overbearingness, the overreach of the sort of police state there, can you guess why? Because the citizens aren't armed. Only the military and the police are armed. You don't take guns into Mexico. The citizens do not have guns. You want to look like Mexico? Then take away our guns. And let's just put it all together. Put a nice little bow on it. I like to visualize a little blue box with a white bow. No reference intended there. But that is how you package it up. You realize this all plays together. This is not by mistake. This is by design. When you take away the Second Amendment rights, you have crumbling. You have societal despair. You have a police state. You have a militarized country. That's what Sergeant Andrew Tamarisi is enduring right now. That's why he endured brutality from drug lords in the prison. That's why he was beaten and harassed and threatened. That's why his mother spent the night in a fetal position on the floor clutching her Bible. It's because the citizens in Mexico don't have the liberties that we have. So for this father who's grieving, who doesn't want to be called emotional, although, of course, it's natural for him to be emotional, we don't want to deprive him, this father from this Santa Barbara shooting, the father of one of the murder victims there, calling for more gun control. We don't want to deprive him of his right to feel emotional right now or his right to have his opinion. But I will say, despite my heart going out to him, he is wrong. Let's listen to this.
Why did Chris die? Chris died because of craven, irresponsible politicians and the NRA. They talk about gun rights. What about Chris's right to live? When will this insanity stop? When will enough people say, stop this madness? We don't have to live like this. Too many have died. We should say to ourselves, not one more. Thank you. That's it.
No, Chris died, with all due respect, because of evil. Pure, straight up evil. And it is that same evil that wants to take your liberties from you. It is that same evil that will lead to more dead children. And it is that same evil that doesn't care a thing in the world about these children. Not saying this father, of course he cares, but it is the same evil that is perpetuating all of this. And taking away the guns is the last thing we need. What we really need is to identify the evil and come up against it. Listen to this.
These things are going to continue until somebody does something. So where the is the leadership? Where the is these people we elect to Congress that we spend so much money on? These people are getting rich sitting in Congress. And what do? They don't take care of our kids. My kid died because nobody responded to what occurred at Sandy Hook. Those parents lost little kids. It's bad enough that I lost my 20-year-old, but I had 20 years with my son. That's all I ever have. But those people lost their children at 6 and 7 years old. How do you think they feel? And who's talking to them now? Who's doing anything for them now? Who is standing up for those kids that died back then in an elementary school? Why wasn't something done? It's outrageous.
Lay that out because I know that most of you good people don't probably watch ABC's Wife Swap. But I went on there to send a message and I said one thing. I said, I'm a 5'1" petite female. My pistol is my equalizer. And I mean that. And that's how I defend myself. I dare say that if any of those stabbing victims certainly had any sort of protection for themselves, any sort of training, they might be alive today. And certainly the kids that were shot would be alive today. That is the evil, with all due respect to this grieving father. I want to go back to your phone calls. We have Jeff calling from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Jeff, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
And God bless you. I love listening to your program. You do a wonderful job standing in for Brian, and frankly, having your own show. You deserve your own show.
Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that.
I'd like to say I've had a couple of minutes to think about some very personal parts that I don't want to take away from my main point. And I'll say that I've got an uncle that I believe is
there. No, there she is. I think I hear something. Christine?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Welcome to Focal Point.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
Let me get in my car where you can hear me. My concern is, I understand the swearing and everything, and I'm upset too because I'm an employee at the base, and I watch the military, and you're not supposed to have guns, but then people go around shooting people, and it's like, how are we supposed to protect ourselves? And then the government wants more control. It's like, and we're supposed to do something about it. The only thing we can do is sign petitions because the government has that much control.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, I was comparing us to the police state of Mexico, but actually our government is very overreaching at this point. When I was on the topic of mental health, talking about taking guns from those who have been diagnosed with mental illnesses, it occurred to me, it flashed through my mind to say, hey, do you not know that the NSA probably knows if you have ever experienced depression or anything that might qualify you for a mental illness? Heck, we could all be diagnosed today because there's not a person in the world that doesn't have a day where you feel a little crazy. What if you just said that to a friend on the phone? I feel like I'm going crazy. Can they use that? I mean, these are some of the things we really have to think about before we start saying that we're going to label people mentally ill and then we're going to take away their Second Amendment liberties. It's really a problem. I appreciate your call, Christine. Lee calling from Plano, Texas. Lee, you want to talk about gun control. Go ahead, Lee.
Yes, I heard the person that called in earlier saying that he thought that there was some kind of a way that these people were programmed. I don't think that's probably the case, but I do think that in a way we have been programmed in our society to ignore what God wants us to do, and that the Ten Commandments are not being, they can't even be posted in the school. If a teacher speaks out about moral things concerning God to give students direction, that way they are ostracized. And so students can have access to all kinds of learning except for, the right kind as far as, direction and good moral behavior. And so that has led to, in a large part, what things we're seeing happen today. I was thinking about that not long ago. I thought, why is it that today we're seeing so much of this? I never heard about it when I was growing up. I'm sure it probably happened occasionally, but now it's just the ordinary thing to hear. From one day to the next. And
I agree with you. They take the Bibles out of the classroom. They take God out of the classroom. Literally this week on my show, I had a guy talking about the fact that there was this kid who had, they said, think about the first thing that comes to your mind and draw a picture of it. And the little kid drew a picture of a gun. And I believe he was suspended for drawing a picture of a gun when he was told to draw a picture of the first thing that came to mind. We are now the thought police in schools. I want y'all to think about where this is going. I want to go to another caller. Jeff, I'm going to let you pick because I can't see them on the line. Okay, good. All right, no worries. Then I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and invite more calls if you want to. 888-589-8854, but 588, I can get this out. 888-589-8840. But there are, I want you to first think about going and signing this petition. You can find it at whitehouse.gov. I've linked it up for you, drginashow.com. And I want to thank you. Oh, look, we're out of time. No fun. We're out of time. I want to thank you for driving up those numbers. 25,000 signatures. Jill Tamarisi, the Marine's mother, asked you to go sign the petition. You can find it at drginashow.com. Also on my Facebook and Twitter pages. I want to thank you for tuning in today. I want to thank you for all of your phone calls. I want to thank you for your passion. And I want to thank you for your perseverance to save our country. From what? The people in control, the elite in Washington, D.C., as I like to call them, because it's on both sides of the aisle, are doing to try to take away our liberties. Keep fighting, my friends. And don't forget to tune in every day here to Brian Fisher's Focal Point. Thanks to Brian for letting me fill in. And Jeff, thanks to my producer, Jason, and all the folks there at AFR Talk. And thank you, the studio audience. We appreciate having you. You go boldly now and live the truth. I'm Dr. Gina signing off for today. Thanks.